and welcome back to the Prism Podcast. My name is Sydney Lish, but you can call me Sid. After 5 years of mentoring thousands of people as a wellness entrepreneur, I figured it was time to create a one-stop shop for you to find all things business advice, health and wellness, success principles, creating legacy income, tangible tips, motivation, and more. The Prism Podcast captures a full spectrum of all the information you need to actualize your excellence. So let's go. Hello and welcome back to the podcast, Prism Podcast, where we are all about the full spectrum of life, business, body, beauty, whatever it may be here. And today I want to talk about something I just had a call a few days ago with a woman who was starting in our industry. And she's like, how do you manage your energy throughout the day? How do you not get burnt out? How do you create balance in your schedule? And I learned something in the beginning of my journey from a mentor of mine. And it's a concept I wanted to share with all of you. So I'm excited about it. It is called Sprint, Run, Walk. And really, this is beneficial for any industry. It's beneficial if you are, in the fitness space. It's beneficial if you're in a business space. It's beneficial with even things like your family, your work-life balance, your relationships. And I'm going to explain it to you. So sprint, run, walk. What is that concept? What does it mean? Essentially, it's really coming down to you don't have to be sprinting all the time, because you're going to get burnt out. However, if you never take seasons to sprint in your business or in your life, you're always going to just have mediocre results. If you're just constantly, I always think of it like getting a plane off of the ground. Let's just use the business example. If you're trying to get your business off the ground, and every person that's been successful in business has had an all-out sprint in their life where you might lack a little bit of balance. You may have to make some sacrifices in your life. You might have to miss some basketball games with your kids, or you might have to, hire someone else to do your grocery shopping, or you might have to go through a season where there's just not a lot of balance and you're really all in on one thing. Getting a plane off the ground takes about 85 to 90% of its fuel simply to get it off the ground, and it uses the remaining 10 to 15% to get to its destination. And so the same concept comes in business, where we need to use 80% to 90% of our all-out maximum effort to get momentum in our business, or to get momentum in an area of our life. And again, this can work with your health and fitness. This can work in relationships, but I'm talking about business today. So what I really recommend for any of you listening, if you're like, okay, well, how do I incorporate this into my life? Knowing well that, it's never necessarily the perfect time to be in an all-out sprint. And I hear it so much from unsuccessful people, honestly, where it's like, well, I would do a sprint in my business, but, I have Mother's Day coming up and it's Easter today. And then, then we have Halloween in October, so I can't do it then. And then Christmas comes, and then it's the new year, and then, school starts again. Whatever the excuses are. First of all, I can't with excuses. Leadership doesn't know a season. Success doesn't know a season. And so, first of all, release the fact that there might never feel like there's the perfect time to have a sprinting season in your business, but success takes some level of sacrifice. And that's why Sprint, Run, Walk is so brilliant, because it still allows some semblance of balance at the micro level. And so what you're going to do is really look at your year, and then we're going to break it down. So where can we inject areas of sprinting into, your life? Maybe you are going to sprint and you're going to do a 30-day sprint in your business where you are all out, you're hiring out, grocery shopping, you're having your husband do your laundry, you're making these decisions to really go all in on your business. Okay, so let's say we do that January, February, March for 90 days or 30 days or 60 days or 6 months, whatever you need to do to feel good about it and to feel like you can move yourself into that next echelon of success, or where you want to be in your life and your business. But then what do? A lot of us, we get to the end of that 90 days and we're so burnt out that we feel like we're just exhausted, we're not motivated, we're done, we're toast, right? Because we don't realize that the run and the walk are needing to be scheduled in as well. So I really like to look at my year in segments of when I'm sprinting, when I'm running, and when I'm walking. So for you, a sprint, again, maybe January, February, maybe March and April, you're doing running, you're still working with your team, you're still developing, and then maybe you're having a 2-month or a 1-month, time of walking where you're working a lot less hours, you're incorporating maybe a lot more self-care, a lot more family activities. So you can plan this into your year. And then maybe in July and August, you know that a lot of things ramp up around that time. So you say, okay, I'm going to have a sprint, run, walk. And then in the middle of the year, I'm going to do the same thing through the end of the year. And December, I'm going to close out in a walking season so that I have enough energy to get through January of the next year where I'm going to be sprinting again. So you can see how it's just like the seasons, guys. You're never going to be sprinting full out all the time. But what a sprinting season can do for you is it can move you from where you are to a new plateau. Because most of our journeys are on plateaus. Most of our journeys aren't going up or down. It's literally, we're just riding a plateau. But we can raise that minimum of where the plateau is with a simple sprint. So if we sprint, we can really kind of coast just like an airplane does, get to that altitude, and then we can coast there for a while. We can sustain it. And then we rest and then we start over again, just like the seasons, right? And so what you can do with this sprint, run, walk concept is get micro with it. So like I said, you can do this with the years, and then you can break it down into the months. And what I like to do, especially for my women here, I like to actually have sprint, run, walk incorporated in with my menstrual cycle. So, and if you're a man and you're listening to this, I'm sorry, but this is how I'm going to talk about this. With my menstrual cycle, the beginning of the phase, it's like the resting time, it's the walking time. So like those 3 or 4 days when my menstrual cycle starts, I'm walking, it's like chilling, not talking to anybody for 1 or 2 days. It's really my time off and my time to think and to dream, because actually during that time, the hemispheres of your brain are the most connected they are throughout the month. After that, I have more of a running time, right? Where I'm starting to get my energy up. I'm starting to execute on some of those plans. And then the ovulation phase is really where I'm like, I'm going out, I'm doing meetings, I'm recording the podcast, I am going all in on the things. That is my sprinting time of the month for that 1 to 2 weeks. So then after that, I'm going into the follicular phase, which is more like rest and like calming down. And so for me, there's really 2 weeks of all out sprinting, and then like 1 week where I'm jogging, I'm running, and then that 1 week building into my period and a few days after where I'm just walking. I'm doing a little bit more resting, a lot more self-care, right? And so this is how you can incorporate it into your monthly routine. And we can at least project when this is going to be so it doesn't catch us off guard. And this allows you to kind of do the things in your business that need to be done in the times where you have the most energy and you're working with yourself instead of against yourself. And then I like to do this throughout the week, right? This is like we're getting more minute and minute. So the year, the months, now the week, I like to use my Sundays to get ramped up to sprint for the week. I like to sprint, the last half of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I like to do a little jogging Thursday, Friday, where I'm, coming down off of the activity, limiting the activity in the evenings, or maybe sleeping in a little bit longer, shortening my days, doing some more of my self-care, checking in with team. And then by Friday evening, I take a little bit of time off my phone, maybe a little time off Saturday in the morning, and then I'm getting back into it. So I'm walking towards the end of the week, and then I ramp back up on Sunday. And it's the full cycle. So I still get that resting time so that I have the energy to sustain on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then even more minute than that, you guys, is in your days. So take a look at your days and see, okay, where can I integrate sprinting in? Where can I integrate walking and running in? Right? So where are your sprint times? Are you more productive from 4 a.m. to 9 a.m.? Or are you more productive from 9 to 1? Are you more productive from 1 to 5? Are you productive from 5 to 10 p.m.? When is it that you can incorporate in your sprinting? So I like to wake up, I'm like off to the gym, I'm going, I'm moving, I'm doing my morning routine. Then I get into work from 10 to 2. I take a little bit of a break from 2 to 4. I rest, I recover, and then I get back into it at night, and I'm running through the night. I'm working with people. I'm, doing calls. I'm reaching out to people. I'm responding to messages. I'm getting it all done. And then I, downplay everything. I take a bath. I recharge throughout the night. So the next morning I can do it all over again. So I really recommend look at your life and like take a big picture and just break it down from the days to the seasons to the months to the weeks to the days, and see how you can incorporate in this concept, because it'll help. It'll support your energy. It'll support your mental health. It'll support your ability to always remember that there's seasons for everything. But if you are always just like jogging along, like you don't, it's good as long as you never quit. I'm just going to keep jogging along, but you never take those seasons of sprinting, or vice versa. You're always sprinting so hard to the point where you're just going to get burnt out. Neither of those is conducive. So take this structure, build it in, and then really follow it. That's the biggest thing, is you've got to follow it, trusting and knowing that when you take those seasons of rest, it's actually to help you in your sprinting season. And when you're in those seasons of sprinting, you're going to get through it and you're going to be able to rest soon enough. But the greatest of greats they follow this principle, because they know to get to the next level, they've got to do a little sprinting. They also know to get to the next level, they've got to do a little bit of resting and a little bit of walking. So I hope this was a valuable principle for you. I can't wait to see how you guys incorporate it in. I would love to hear any feedback that you have during this process, how it helps you, what works, what doesn't work, because I always like ideas as well. So if you think of something creative, let me know. Can't wait to see you next week on the podcast. I hope you guys are enjoying these episodes. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Prism podcast episode this week. It means so much that you got to the end of this episode. I want to acknowledge you for tuning in to grow yourself every single week. So if you loved this episode, leave a rating and a review. Please subscribe so that I know that you're loving this content, and I will see you next week.